Hey guys, John here. Let's take another detailed look at the all-new 2025 Toyota 4Runner Trailhunter. We're going to start on the outside before we go on into the inside, and we will start with this new color for the 4Runner platform called Everest. It's kind of like a teal green kind of a color. It is metallic-y as well. It is hard to see because there's been a ton of dust here in Flagstaff, but we can see the kind of flake to it. In certain light, this thing looks like a dark green, not as dark as a forest green. And when the sun hits it, as you guys can tell, kind of like right down here at the bumper, it's kind of like a bluish aqua color. I really like this color, and I hope that it is on a Tier D off-road, because that may be the package that I'm getting for the new 4Runner. But let's go ahead, start up front, and make our way around before we head on into the inside. Very kind of slower video, just want to show you guys just everything on the truck, so you guys can bounce around in the video if you guys really want. So we have a heritage style grille up front. Everything on a Trailhunter platform is going to be bronze accented. We have the radar cruise control, the light bar right here, which you can turn on inside. These rigid fog lights that flank it, they're pretty cool because they can turn both an amber light and a white light with a switch on the inside that I'll show you guys. A silver lower valence. You can tell that we have that double Hulk Hogan mustache kind of going on.
Listen here, brother, if you need anything for your Toyota 4Runner, Tacoma, Tundra, Yodaverse has you covered, brother. The link will be in the description and the pinned comment, so go over there and get you some stuff for your Toyota vehicle. Hell yeah, brother.
But in person, and everyone here that I've talked to, they say that the 4Runner looks a lot better in person than it does in photos. So people have been impressed with how it looks. Still is growing on some people because we've had the 5th gen for such a while, but it is a lot better from the people that I've talked to here at Expo West in person. We can see on the side right here, the Trailhunter and also the TRD Pro 4Runner, they're gonna have kind of like these little notches right here. That's both for clearance and also like while off-road for approach and departure angles, and also like hitting obstacles from the side, and to fit bigger tires on these vehicles if you elect to go a little bit bigger. We do have some wide fenders that flank those for our 33-inch tires that I will show you when we walk around to the side. But I want to show you guys the headlights first. These are a more premium headlight. It's a little hard to see in this light, but there's a little Trailhunter logo right here. No fake vents, it's just like this little notch right here. I guess you would call it a fake vent, but it's not as drastic as the Tacoma. And then we do have some projector housings in it, kind of stacked it looks like. Again, it's hard to see because of the dust. And then we have a sequential, or not sequential, but we have an LED DRL right here that will turn amber for your blinker when you turn it on the 4Runner. And then over here on this side, it says Trailhunter right there on the light. Up on top of the hood, we don't get a hood scoop on this one, rather a flatter hood, but what we can see on top of it is an iForce Max badge. That's because underneath of this, standard on a Trailhunter, now hold on, I gotta put you down because we got a prop rod. So this is definitely something that is a downgrade over the 5th gen for sure, because the 5th gen had actual hood struts. But what we have here is a 2.4 liter turbocharged now hybrid setup. So the iForce Max means a hybrid setup for this truck. We have our inverter right here, the hybrid motor. So if you're worried about water and the hybrid system and everything, your hybrid motor sits in between the flywheel of the engine and the bell housing of the transmission. And your other components are right here, and your batteries are inside the truck. So if you are going over water forging with this vehicle and you're worried about water hitting hybrid components, if they touch any of those components in here in the engine bay and also your battery pack in the back, you have a lot more issues. Aside from that, all your other hybrid components on this are mechanical. But this hybrid setup is good for 326 horsepower, 465 foot-pounds of torque. We don't have EPA numbers yet, but here's the EPA numbers of the Land Cruiser, which has the same setup, but you could tell is a giant box, a little bit heavier, I would assume, than the 4Runner. We will see when actual specs come out. So it would be nice to see this thing maybe get 1 more mile per gallon, potentially 2 more than the Land Cruiser, which is just substantially better than the outgoing model. We do have a Trailhunter branded air intake right here, and it is a high performance cone style intake because it sucks in air through the fender here, and it's going up into a what Toyota's calling a high rise intake. So it's not a snorkel or anything, but the easy term to say in the industry is a snorkel, but it's a high rise intake to hopefully keep clean air going into the truck while you're off-road, like a very dusty area. And you could see that right here it's closed off, but it takes in the air from the back. So if you're going through a very dusty trail or something, it's not sucking in all the air either from the front of this snorkel or from in here in the engine bay where a typical air intake would be. So on my Tacoma, which utilizes the same platform, it has the air intake sit right here, sucks in air through the grill and everything into the intake, into the engine. Yes, your filter will still do its job, but this one is just really trying to limit all the amount of dirty air that going into the engine. So one of the things that makes the Trailhunter special is the bigger tires, the suspension right behind that, and also all the armor from ARB that this vehicle has. We have the skid plates up front, the roof rack up top from ARB, the rock rails as well, and also ARB owns Old Man Emu, and that is a suspension that we have back behind these 33-inch Toyo Open Country tires that are wrapped around an 18-inch bronze wheel that spells out Toyota Heritage Style in the center. As we go behind them, we can kind of get a look at our suspension. So here is the Old Man Emu setup. The Trailhunter is built to be a kind of a pack mule, while the TRD Pro is built to go fast with the Fox shocks, the QS3 selectable. This one is meant to kind of be a little bit more of a pack mule, and you can see that we also have some billet upper control arms right here that spell out Trailhunter, and you also have the little logo. These are bronze in color as well. Now, I'm not sure that if this is a prototyping thing, but it is nice to see the mirror kind of a different accented color. I can tell that this is kind of pre-production still with this shinier material, and this is like a textured plastic. So I'm not sure if this is going to be on production models or if this is just pre-production, but it's a kind of nice like little texturized finish just in case maybe your mirrors get scratched up while off-road. And it's the same setup as these fenders are. So it's a very kind of almost like bed liner like material. So maybe that is actually going to be the OEM production style. So if you get scratched up, I actually kind of like this because I'm scratching it really good with my nails and it's not getting scratched up. Whereas my Tacoma would get scratched up with the type of plastic that it has. So this most likely actually will be production, which is pretty cool to mitigate a bunch of trail rash and stuff. But like I said, we do have some rock sliders down the side. It does look like they do bolt right up to the frame, so these would actually support the vehicle on top of it. They aren't like any step sliders or anything that you could utilize to step on to get up into the vehicle, nor does it look like it has a kick out. Not sure if they'll have other options when the vehicle comes out, but at least it's cool that we get that from the factory. Right above that, we do have the Trailhunter badge. So looking down the side profile of the vehicle, we'll notice that our door handle is a little bit higher on the back door. Now, this question came up during the Toyota Fireside Chat, and Adam, the designer of the 4Runner, or one of the designers at Calty for it, he gave his answer, and I'll let you know what it is. He said that they couldn't fit it lower. Now, looking at the door handle, that makes sense because these things are big. They're the same on the Tacoma, Tundra, Sequoia. I'm pretty sure they're utilizing the same door handles for like all their vehicles now, which is very cool from them. You know, it's easier for them. But anyways, if you brought this lower, you would be falling into the design right here, which I guess that makes sense. Now, my thought process, and I'm not a designer, was that it's a little bit higher to like bring your eye up high, because we have this portion of the door that comes up to the C-pillar, and then our rear window now, it does this thing that a second gen 4Runner and also first gen 4Runner did, was it wraps the glass around the top right here. So the glass is actually wrapped. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. The glass is actually wrapped up around the roof line. So it follows the whole roof line like this. I love that look on my second gen 4Runner. For those doing like a Velox off-road or like a gull wing thing, I'm curious how that will work, but like not a lot of people kind of modify that of their 4Runners, but you could see that the glass just kind of comes over the top, which is a pretty cool design cue. So that was my thought process as to why the handle was like that, to come up around the top. Take a look at the kind of wider hips here on the 4Runner. Again, those wide fender flares, and a look too, since this one is the Trailhunter, we'll take a look at the ARB roof rack up top. So this is like a 3/4 roof rack. You have your T-slots and stuff for some items up top. And then it looks like too, you could have in the front some little spots to put lights if you would like, but I probably wouldn't, just because it would glare off the top. And this is a 3/4, and you'll also notice that the Trailhunter does not have a moonroof, because maybe those that are going to overland with this would want a full-length roof rack, and if you did a full-length roof rack, you wouldn't really open up the moonroof anyway. So this is what Toyota's providing on it. People may swap it out, people may keep it. We do have a Trailhunter logo right there, but as we come to the back of the 4Runner, a lot of people are saying this is very 4th gen vibes mixed with 2nd gen vibes, but as we come to the back, the vibes are very 5th gen back here with the tail lights that do wrap around. This 4Runner has been doing this for a while, wrapping them around. I've noticed too that these are their more premium darkened headlights, even though with the sun it kind of looks like a black chrome. They're a darker tail light. The Tier D off-road that has been spied, and also the Limited, has a bit more of a red look to it. So aftermarket companies, they will still be able to make stuff for that, because these ones look killer. I would never swap these ones out, but the ones on the Limited and also the Tier D off-road that we've seen, I probably would swap those out. The back of this vehicle comes up a little bit. We don't have like an axle dump exhaust like we would on the Tacoma. It does hang down a little bit, but it's kind of right there in line with our full-size spare. This one is nice that it has a 33-inch full-size spare. We have our receiver right here for the towing upwards of 6,000 pounds on the 4Runner, and it looks like our pins are kind of in a better location. Not as bad as the 5th gen 4Runner, but at least our pins are in a better spot. And then the tow hitch receiver is just always open, unlike the Land Cruiser. And then we also have a little recovery point right there. But the back, as I was saying, is very 4Runner vibes, with Toyota written out right here in the center. 4Runner's always kind of had this right here. This really kind of reminds me of the 1st gen style, with it being a little bit more heritage right here, instead of saying 4Runner across like the 5th gen did. With the lettering down here in black, with iForce Max flanking it, and also the Trailhunter badge, it doesn't look horrible. In the spy photos or the teaser photos that Toyota gave us, it looked a little meh, but right down here, blacked out, it don't look that bad. And then the Tier D Pro version, it says Tier D Pro embossed, so that doesn't look that bad at all. The chrome one, to me, just doesn't look the part. But we have our spoiler up top with our wiper up there, because the 4Runner retains the rear roll down window, which is nice, which you could just do from a button right here, raise it back up, and it locks the vehicle and raises the window back up. It's not automatic, you just have to hold it. So if you want to hold it, stop it like just right there, you can, or go all the way down, which is nice. We'll take a look at the room though, back here, like if you have some doggos, with this one being a hybrid, you can see that we have some room, but if you have a taller doggo, they may have to kind of sit and hunch just a little bit with the battery packs. All right, let's go ahead and go now on to the inside of the Trailhunter. So the Trailhunter is going to have its own unique interior, so that may be a deciding factor for you guys. It's kind of like a mineral color. I believe they're calling it mineral or boulder, I can't remember. But it's like a stone accent to it, with gray seats and yellow striping. So starting with the door over here, it'll say Trailhunter on the door itself. A lot of soft touch materials for this vehicle. It is made in Japan, and the materials and that they sourced for this prototype is actually pretty good and high quality. A lot better of a feel, because it's the same exact interior as the Tacoma, but a little bit better of a feel than the Tacoma is, at least from what I remember. We have MOLLE panels here on the door, all of our automatic window switches and stuff right here. We do have power folding mirrors, it looks like. We do have auto power folding mirrors, it looks like, on this. Our memory seating, this is something that we'll see throughout this vehicle. It looks like this is pre-production material, along with the seats down here. It's kind of a more shiny plastic, but we do have automatic seats on it. So all of our switches right here on the dash. We have 4 auxiliary switches, which is pretty rad. So if you have like ditch lights, bumper lights, a winch, anything, you just tie it into a little spot inside the hood. Maybe also there's 4th one here is for the back. We'll have to see when more information comes out. But you just tie off those things to those, and you don't have to run crap through the firewall, which is pretty cool. We have our light bar light, and then our fog light right here, which if you cycle pressing this, it'll turn from white light to amber light up front. We do have an automatic steering wheel in the Trailhunter too, and we'll go ahead and climb on into it. And now I will just turn the power on. It's gonna yell at us for a second. All right, so we have a 14-inch screen and a 12.3-inch screen right here that is fully customizable. So if we press and hold the OK button, I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. If you press and hold the OK button, you're able to customize the gauges on the 4Runner. So you can go over here, you could change your trip to your tire pressure, pitch and roll, like if you're off-road, your trailer stuff and everything, which is cool. So if you want your trans temp there, you go over here to this left side. Let's say if you're towing, right, you could have your eco indicator, navigation, your audio, and not only all this stuff, your traction monitor, you have like 3 screens of this too. So that was screen 1, you have screen 2, and also screen 3. So you can see how they're all kind of different in their own ways. You could customize all 3 of them, which is actually pretty rad. So this is a 12.3-inch screen. This one does not have a HUD in it. I believe the Tacoma Trailhunter, I think, has a HUD, or maybe just the TRD Pro. We have the JBL sound system, our mirror right here. That is a digital mirror, which is pretty cool. 14-inch screen, like I said, with wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, but a very Tacoma vibed interior, no? Dual climate control, pretty cool. Heated steering wheel, and also we can block the AC to the rear seats. All physical dials here, which I actually really like, and a giant dial right here for our dual climate control. Heated and ventilated seats are right there. Our wireless charger. Down here we have 45 watt fast USB-Cs, a 12 volt right underneath of that if you need any more power. Over on this side we have our data cable for our if you need to plug anything in, or also there's just another power right there if you want to put like an iPad or something in here. Toyota spelt out heritage style right there on the dash, and also some softer materials on the glove box. With the Trailhunter you do get a rear locker, which is sweet. Front stabilizer disconnect bar, full 360 camera view, the trailer backup assist, since we're towing upwards of 6,000 pounds. All of our drive modes are right here with the multi-terrain select, the crawl control, and if you move the drive mode, which is pretty cool, you could see this little 4Runner come into view, which is pretty rad. So normal, eco, and sport. And since all of our dials are down here, up here we still now get a sunglass holder, which is dope, and also to our rear glass roll down button. All right, so they're about to open, so they did put it onto the rock, but we can still finish the tour on the inside. But we could see it flexing out a little bit now with the ARB Ullman Emu suspension a little bit. Good amount of flex with this because this is a multi-link suspension, which means the other side is probably stuffed. So we'll see how they stuff the 33-inch tires right here. Tucked all nice in. And the cool thing with these products is that you can see right there with these new Toyota products is they kind of notch out the fender well a little bit for us. So even if you were to run a little bit wider of a tire, it would still tuck in pretty nicely into the fender well. All right, and then as we come into the middle seat of the 4Runner, the soft touch does continue on the door, which is nice. I was kind of worried about this, that it would be a lot more plastic like the Tacoma, but we do have soft touch all throughout the doors right here. A cool thing too that I really like is they put a fat cup holder right here in the middle door as well, which I really wish the Tacoma had that. Our JBL speakers, and it's nice because we do have more cup holders right here in the center. So you have 2 cup holders right here for the center row, and you also have the cup holders in the doors. Our HVAC is only in the center console, unfortunately. None of it is up in the roof. I do wish that they did that for every SUV in their lineup, but the 4Runner unfortunately does not get that treatment on this one. We do have though a 2400 watt outlet, which is pretty sweet, and 2 USB-Cs back here for the rear passengers. Now, since this truck is the same kind of as the Land Cruiser, our seats, they don't flip this way and flip down anymore to give us a kind of a flat seat back here. Rather, because the 4Runner is a 3-row SUV and the Land Cruiser is a 3-row as a global SUV, these seats will tumble forward so someone could access the back. Now the Trailhunter, unfortunately, it is not a 3-row because of the hybrid setup, so the seat will still tumble forward to gain access if you need stuff back here, or if you put stuff in like a storage right up under here. However, it will kind of lay flat-ish, and I'll show you guys how high it actually raises up as we make our way into the back. Now as we come to the back, it is an automatic hatch, which a lot of people have been wanting on the 4Runner. So the hatch will lift up automatically, revealing kind of our battery area. So if you get a 4Runner, with no battery bank back here, this will pretty much be flat. So you could see how much we come up, maybe 3.5, 4 inches or so we come up with this. I forgot a tape measure again, guys, I apologize. But this is where all of our batteries will stay. And then too, with the rear seat folded down, we have about 2 to 3 inches there as well. But again, we have storage right there, and Toyota did make the most out of this area because we have storage right here too for some things. And with it being a 3-row SUV, you do get cup holders back here. However, the cool way that Toyota did it for the 4Runner versus the Land Cruiser, that still shows like legit cup holders on a production model. Kind of lazy in my opinion, but Toyota just did like a big square. So you just have a big square right here. So yes, you could put cups in it. Yes, you could put stuff in it, but it also acts as a little storage area. And then we have kind of like little molly panels right here on the side, which is pretty rad. We have our startup battery right here, bottle jack right up here, LED lights throughout, tie down points right there. We also have another 2400 watt inverter, JBL sub, and two, since this is the Trailhunter, we have a integrated compressor with also some USB-Cs in it, and with a 12 watt adapter, and there's the little nozzle for the compressor. And then here's just a closer look at the rear cargo area. We don't have exact dimensions yet as to what the cargo area will be with the hybrid setup compared to, like, let's say the Land Cruiser with a taller roof, or also, you know, the outgoing 4Runner model, nor do we know if there will be a sliding cargo tray option like the 5th gen had or what. But whenever those details come out, guys, I will give you more information. So guys, I hope you enjoyed a more detailed look on the 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section, and I'll catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.